Stories unfolding beneath the gray skies.
Hey everybody, Kyle Gillette here. Welcome to the Hey Bellingham podcast, where we celebrate all things Bellingham. Each episode, we chat with local business owners, artists, musicians, and other community members to learn about their stories and what makes Bellingham so special. We also share tips on where to eat, drink, and play in our beautiful city. Whether you're a longtime resident or just visiting, Hey Bellingham is the perfect way to get to know your community better. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a listen. Cheung, can you please introduce our guest today?
Yeah, sure. Today's guest is Michael Blaney. He's the owner of Groundbusters Northwest, LLC. They provide landscape and handyman services, and they service the Whatcom and surrounding areas. Michael was born in Arizona, but raised in Bellingham. Their mission is to make our community beautiful, one job at a time, whether it's your lawn or kitchen.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome again to another episode of the Hey Bellingham podcast. I'm excited to be here with Cheung Vong and Mike Blaney. So welcome, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate being on the show and the opportunity for it.
Awesome.
So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Yeah, so I own a landscaping handyman business. So basically, we got three divisions at the moment. Kind of just added carpentry to it. So we got a carpentry division, we got a landscape division, and a handyman division. And we do a lot of commercial work, but we're starting to move more into residential as well. Basically got started about 6 years ago. Worked with my father-in-law on a weekend building a deck, and I was like, man, I could do this for a living, make a lot of money doing it. And yeah, decided to go into it, and I like the feel of building something from new. So I was actually going to school to become a doctor beforehand. And then stopped all that. Started just advertise, put a ad up on Craigslist, and ended up borrowing a truck and a shovel. And first job was, I think, shoveling manure. And one thing led to another, and a lot of hard work and 7 days a week. Yeah, paid off to here. So basically how it started. Started from the ground up.
That's a big difference from being a doctor.
It was, yeah. My past experience was I was a caregiver, med tech, and going to be, going to school to become a doctor. Physician assistant was a plan, and eventually move up to a doctor. And yeah, it's I didn't expect myself to be in this line of work either. But
yeah, you and I have a similar history. We both worked at Spring Creek Senior Living, not the same time, but we both worked there. And I found that out when we were chatting a while back, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. We both were there. But what's interesting is you started your business by shoveling crap.
Yeah, essentially, yep, that was it. Yeah, and I was so excited about that job too. I remember this guy. His name is Jaime, and I actually still work with him today. And it turned out that he was in charge of one of these property management companies, so it led to a good road. But yeah, I was so excited to shovel crap essentially. And Marcelo at the time was my partner, and I called him super excited, like, hey, we need to borrow your truck. And then he didn't want to put crap in the back of his truck, but convinced him to do it. And yeah, made, I think it was like $60 off, and not a lot of money, but yeah, it's funny how things work.
Yeah, you can literally say you've shoveled crap to get to where you are now. So
I did. And before that, I was working in a septic company. So actually, sucking up crap. So
wow. So what do you think got you intrigued to be an entrepreneur? I mean, you went from this path in the medical field to more of this entrepreneurial path. What do you think drove you that direction?
I mean, I don't, I have always saw there's not a lot of, there's potential to working for other people, but there's a limit. And I kind of like doing my own thing. So that's about it. I don't like kind of taking orders from people after a while. I mean, I'll get to a job and then kind of work all my way up, and I don't see the future there. I want to be able to provide jobs for people, be able to not, have a cap on the amount of money that I make, and help other people and run a business the way I want to run it, because I've worked for a lot of other businesses, and there's so many downsides to it. And I want to kind of make my own and treat everybody right in the way that I want to be treated. So
yeah, there's some great freedom in that.
There is. Yeah, it's great.
So where do you see the future of your business going?
I mean, the sky's the limit, but the future is basically, the plan is to open up multiple locations, which we're getting there now. We pretty much opened up our second location in Mount Vernon. We might have to scale back on that a little bit, but yeah, I'm not going to get into details on that. But open up about 3 or 4 and see how that goes. I mean, we could, I could essentially split up the business on the handyman side, the renovation side, just start doing, apartment complexes. And yeah, it's kind of sky's the limit. But as of right now, just focusing on growing this company, turning it into a, $10-20 million business with multiple locations, and see where that takes us from there. So
Yeah, it's awesome ambition.
So what do you see in what are your core values for your business?
Core values are professionalism. So we want to kind of professionalize the landscape and handyman, industry. So I think that's where it's lacking a lot is that, a lot of these companies, they show up with, not all of them, but show up, with a cigarette hanging out of their mouth. They're not professional. They don't answer the phone. Like if you call any landscaping company now, call about 10, I guarantee only 2 will answer the phone. So kind of do professionalism, communication is key as well. Inclusivity is also as well too. So we're kind of hiring, we as Bellingham, as we live in, you may know there's a lot of people around, a lot of mixed everything. And, we don't judge on that. And just we have landscaping women, that do landscaping. And yeah, it's inclusivity is a huge one. And yeah, it's pretty much, I forgot yeah, we'll go with that.
So when you think about your team,
Yeah.
what is it about your team that makes them successful and helps you to grow the business?
I think, giving them support and freedom is great. So I kind of, I worked with you, Kyle, for a bit, which blue shirt coaching, which was great. So I gave them the freedom to make their own decisions or help them get to that point to where they can make their own decisions. So I think that's huge. Treating them like family, essentially. Like I have Travis, like you guys met him before, and Tom, he's our engineer as well too. But just guiding him in the right direction instead of telling him what to do. Be like, hey, what would you do? And just supporting them and giving good bonuses, raises, treating them like a person, and actually appreciate their their business or their employment here. And
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard for business owners to get out of their own way?
I think it's difficult because they want to work on everything themselves. They want everything to be perfect, and they want want a foot in everything that they do. Which is, if you want to grow, you can't do that. And that was kind of my biggest flaw too, was that I wanted to be put on all these different hats all the time and have a say in every little thing. And I think that's huge right there. That's why a lot of people get in their way. And if you can kind of conquer that, and get out of your own headspace, the sky's the limit from there.
So with everything you know about the city of Bellingham, what would you do if it was your first time visiting Bellingham?
What would I do? I would go see the sights. Honestly, it's beautiful here. So I moved here from Arizona, and hey, yeah, this is a totally different world from Arizona. The first time I drove here, I couldn't believe how beautiful it was. I would go up to Chuckanut, go to Larrabee, and just take in all the sights. Go up to Mount Baker, go downtown, try some good food. That would be my recommendations on. Yeah. So when we're here the first time, it's the beauty of the Northwest. It's absolutely it's uncomparable to anything I've seen. So.
Do you have a specific restaurant you recommend in Bellingham or in Whatcom County?
I like Mexican food, so any of the Mexican restaurants around here. There's one on Sunset. That's great. El Gatado, I believe it is. And Mi Mexico is my favorite as well too.
You know what? I had some good luck here with Mexican food. I would agree. That's a good choice. When you said driving, first coming in here from Arizona, I moved here from California, 9 years ago now, and I remember coming up the 5 just as you get into whatever the first lake is. Can't remember what the name of it is for some reason. Anyway, just as you're getting there, and it was like so green, so ridiculously beautiful, and I'm like, okay. It might, because it was raining too, which was a little bit annoying because coming from California, it doesn't rain, and Arizona.
Yeah.
So, but it was just like so green and beautiful. So you're right. Like there's just something about it. It's a total different appearance compared to where both of us originally came from.
It is. Yeah, I remember driving up Chuckanut. So our first house was at Chuckanut up there. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was raining as well. And yeah, just the green, the smell of it. I'm used to smelling pollution in Arizona all the time. Yeah, to actually be able to breathe fresh air and smell. I couldn't believe it.
I love the Chuckanuts. It's so beautiful up there.
It is. It's great.
So does the Chuckanucks include Pine and Cedar Lake? Is that part of it? Do you guys know?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think of it as that, when people go, when you do your hikes, you're kind of going to the Chuckanuts.
Yeah. When I was training to climb Shasta last summer, and in the fall, in the winter last last year. I was training for it, and I remember climbing up Pine and Cedar and then taking that little side trail that it has, so you get a view of Mount Baker. And it was like 5:30 in the morning, and so I'm climbing up, and I walk into the outcropping of the rocks, and you have the trees on both sides of the rock, and you can walk out to the rock, and there's no obstruction of view whatsoever. The sun is rising, it's clear, it was gorgeous.
Well,
So
I don't know if 5:30 is early. I don't think anybody's up there at 5:30.
no, I was by myself. It was which I like, because over there, like if you're in the middle of the afternoon on a nice day, you're saying, "Oh, hi, good day, nice day, everybody.
Right.
Oh, good, this is a good hike," and
Yeah.
which is fun. But sometimes being in the mountains alone is better.
Yep, I would agree.
So, Michael, back to your business for a second. If you were starting your business again, what would be one thing you would do differently?
I would put systems in place from the very beginning. Because I didn't even know I came into kind of this business not knowing anything about business, that's key. That's what's been able to grow it this past year, is having systems in place.
Yeah. What do you think the impact has been on your business since you got them in place? Like how big of an impact has it had for you?
I mean, it's been huge. I could actually step away from the business, and I mean, the cash flow has been a lot better. It's just every little part is structured now, so people know their actual jobs. They're not wearing multiple hats. It's the biggest accomplishment I think I've made in this business to grow. Is putting systems in place, and they're not perfect at the moment, but we're getting them all developed. Yeah, that
I
would
don't
be
know.
the recommendation.
Why is it that people struggle so much to do that? I don't understand. I automate, like from the beginning. For me, it was like system. It's just maybe the way I think. But almost every client I work with, there's something broken as it relates to that, or there's nothing whatsoever as it relates to that. And I've never have understood what's going on there. Why that's missing. It's kind of funky to me.
Yeah, I think it's because they just want to get to work, do the next job, and just kind of focused on, being in the business, working in the business instead of on it. So for me, it's just like, hey, I want to win this job. I got to go do this estimate. Okay, I got this job to do tomorrow. I never sat down and
Mm.
kind of overlooked, gave an overlook at the business or the future of it. I was just living at the moment. So I think that's probably why a lot of people do, especially in the service industry.
So you were so successful, you got so many jobs, you couldn't create systems fast enough. Meanwhile, I was slow. And so all I did was create systems. It sounds like that's the difference.
Right. Yeah, but I would do it your way if I had to start all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's great.
Yeah.
So Chung, what's our third question?
Third question. I think we just asked it.
So let's do a third. Oh, that's funny that it's like that. Obviously, we're gonna have to edit here, Michael. But
Yeah, sorry about that.
what is the one thing you would do? Oh, no, it's the same. So it's what is the?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what is the one thing you wouldn't do differently? Sorry, I read that wrong.
So go ahead and read it again, Chung, for edit purposes.
Yeah. So Michael, what is the one thing that you wouldn't do differently about your business if you had to start over again?
I would come in it with the same ambition and mindset that I had. So I had the mindset that I'm going to be successful no matter what I do. I'm going to make this thing successful. And, I would come in with that same mindset as well, and just have total ambition that, no matter what I have to work, how many hours I have to work, I'm going to get this thing off the ground. So I wouldn't change that for the world. I think that's been very helpful in getting to where I'm at and will be in the future as well, too.
So, Mike, with other business owners listening, and maybe even some of your staff listening, what do you want to tell the community about your team, your business, that maybe they don't know, or you want them to know and better understand?
Yeah, that we we are part of the community. We are local. We want to help, help Bellingham, grow and kind of, show that, we're a family here, and, help all the customers along the way. The one detailed thing is that, a lot of people don't know is that they think we just do landscaping. We don't. We got a whole handyman division, a whole carpentry division. And yeah, we treat our employees great and differently than a lot of these other companies that will treat customers like family. We're just not your everyday, typical service industry business. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. That keeps people around. And I know you have employees that have been there for a long time. Like this isn't, you don't have a lot of turnover. There's people that stick around for a while and are growing with you, which is such a cool experience to have as an employee, to watch the business you're in grow and you grow with it. I mean, that's super rewarding.
That it is, yeah.
So we love to have our guests bring a prize, and we're curious, what prize do you have for our listeners?
Well, I'm going to have this sweatshirt, but it's going to be in orange. So I have some orange sweatshirts. So that'll be the prize that I'd like to give away, as well with a hat and a shirt as well, too. So a whole ensemble. We're also offering, 15% off first time customer. I guess it's not a prize, but figured I'd bring that up as well, too. But yeah, the new Groundbusters Northwest shirt. You can't see the back there, but I don't know if you can see it. But yeah,
nice.
Quality made, feels great, comfy. So.
Yeah, and if you do use Groundbusters Northwest, mention Hey Bellingham when you want that 15% off.
Right. Yep. That'd be great.
Awesome. So do you have a final word for us that you'd like to share with us or the audience?
Anybody that's thinking of starting a business, just go forth and do it. Just make the jump and do it. I had a lot of hesitation, but just jump in and get it done. It's possible. So.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you so much for being on the show. And for listeners, that was Mike Blaney from Groundbusters Northwest. Mike, can you tell us how people can reach you, how they can get connected with you and your business?
Yeah, you can check out our website it's a long address, but www.groundbustersnw.com. You can look at our company information. There's a request going on there. You can also call us at 360-739-2958. They would be happy to answer any questions or take care of any of your needs. So.
Awesome. And we'll have that information in the show notes for sure. So for everybody watching and listening, this is the Hey Bellingham podcast, and we celebrate all things Bellingham. Each episode, we chat with local business owners, artists, musicians, and other community members to learn about their stories and what makes Bellingham so special. We also share tips on where to eat, drink, and play in our beautiful city. Whether you're a longtime listener, resident, or just visiting, Hey Bellingham is the perfect way to get to know your community better. And thanks for listening.